thing is there to help us to overcome a situation. So we say that every situation that we can possibly encounter is covered in Torah, expounded on in the prophets and the writings, clarified by Yeshua, and then expounded on in the epistles. It is written, it is expounded on, it is clarified, and then it is expounded on again. Every problem, situation, or issue that we may face is covered in detail within the Word of Elohim. We simply need to have the desire to seek it out, and then have the faith to follow the wisdom found in the Word. We talked about transformation. And the transformation that we spoke of earlier occurs at the Red Sea, where the waters open up to allow the people. It didn't allow the people, it allowed the children of Israel to pass through their midst. You'll notice in the parasha, it's not the people that pass through the midst of the waters. It's the children of Israel that pass through the midst of the waters. Our darkened perceptions are left behind. And when we go through the mist of the Word of Elohim, we are established in the fact that Elohim prevails in our life, and we are transformed from having a darkened perception to seeing things from Elohim's point of view. The balance of this verse says, "And the children of Israel went up armed out of the land of Egypt." The phrase "went up armed" literally means that they left hardy and strong. The overall idea for us to keep in mind here is that if we will trust in Elohim to guide us, whether we agree with his guidance or not. There are times that little voice in our heads tells us to say something that goes totally contrary to what we want to do. We'll listen to the little voice in our head, whether we agree with his guidance or not. If we say that Elohim prevails in my life, then he will lead us away by his word out of our bondage and trials, surrounding us with his undeserved favor, anointing us without and within with Mashiach, and we will leave Egypt, we will leave our bondage, we will leave our city under siege, hardy and strong, walking on the lighted path with our Elohim by his word. What went in front of them in the dark in the wilderness? A pillar of fire that lit the way in the darkness. And what covered them in the daytime? A pillar of a cloud. So what happens next? Well, verse 19 says, "And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely remember you, and you shall carry up my bones away from here with you." Well, that can tie into what we're saying. So let's take a look. "And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him." Moses means drawn or to draw out. The word for took is lakach, which also means to receive. The word for bones is estem, that also means essence and substance. And the name Joseph means Yehovah has added. In other words, Yehovah provides. We can put this together into an idea that in walking with Elohim and knowing that he prevails in our life, being surrounded and infilled with his anointing and trusting in his word to guide us regardless of the trials and tribulations in our lives, then the essence and substance of his provision will be drawn to us, and we will receive the goodness that he adds to our life. This is the promise we have from his provision. Who made this promise? Joseph made this promise. This is a promise that we receive from the provision of Elohim. Elohim will, pakod yifekod, surely remember you. These words, pakod and fekod, These words come from the same root meaning that Elohim will look after and care for us. We carry his essence, the potential for blessing, and substance, physical manifestation of blessings, of his provision away from our trials and tribulations. And you shall carry up my bones away from here with you. We all struggle, and we are all at times in difficult situations. The choice is to be Pharaoh and refuse to let the people go, or to be the one who allows the people to be led away by Elohim in the path that he chooses. We have a Torah portion that basically tells us that we have a choice. We can remain in our own darkened perception, wallow in our self-pity, be estranged to Elohim, or we can cling to Elohim and allow Elohim to lead us and guide our path and guide our direction throughout our lives. And that any situation that we encounter, no matter how sticky it might get, he's in the midst of it, and he will lead us to overcome. So any questions on any of this? Just jump in there, not all at once.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we've achieved grooviness then.
Written, expounded upon, clarified by, expounded upon. Written, expounded upon, clarified by Yeshua, expounded upon.
Expounded upon again by the epistles. So we have the Torah, we have the prophets and the writings that expound on the Torah. We have Yeshua that came and brought clarity to the Torah and what the prophets and the writings were saying. And then we have the epistles that expounded on what Yeshua was saying. So everything is right there, down to the minutest detail.
Okay, Matthew 6, 10 through 12.
Matthew 6, 10 through 12. Is that the right one? It should be, unless I wrote down the wrong numbers.
No, that was the right one.
Yeah.
For the,
It's the prayer that Yeshua taught
yes.
how to pray.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Okie dokie. Groovy doovy.